Namaste students. In the previous class you have learnt about blood cells, that is RBCs, WBCs, platelets and its main functions. As well as you have studied how blood will circulate in our body. As well as what are the valves are there, what are the chambers are there in the heart. About that you have studied. Now we can recall briefly the circulation of blood. Deoxygenated blood from our body parts through superior and inferior vena cava, it enters inside the right atrium. From the right atrium, deoxygenated blood, it enters inside the right ventricles through tricuspid valve. Then it enters inside the lungs through pulmonary artery. Here pulmonary artery, it carries the deoxygenated blood. In the lungs, the exchange of the gas takes place. Deoxygenated blood is converted into oxygenated blood. That oxygenated blood then enters inside the left atrium or left auricle through pulmonary veins. Then oxygenated blood enters inside the left ventricles through bicuspid valve, or it is called as a mitral valve. Then it goes to the different body parts through aorta. From left ventricles, the oxygenated blood, it reaches to the different parts of the body through aorta. So this the circulation of blood takes place in our body. In today's class, we are going to study about heartbeat as well as blood vessels, pacemaker. So about that we are going to study in today's class. Next, heartbeat. Heart, it contains one of the muscle that is called as cardiac muscle. Through this cardiac muscle, heart continuously undergo contraction and relaxation. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart to pump out and receive blood is called the heartbeat. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart to pump out and receive blood is called heartbeat. To pump and to receive the blood, heart will undergo the contraction and relaxation. At that time, sound will produce. So that is called as a heartbeat. So during heartbeat, chambers will undergo contraction and relaxation. The first atria undergo the contraction. Next, it is followed by ventricles. The contraction phase is called systole. The contraction phase is called systole and relaxation or expansion phase is called diastole. Contraction phase is called systole and relaxation or expansion phase is called diastole. Each full heartbeat of human is about 0.85 seconds. In 0.85 seconds, we can see the three status. First one, systole of auricles. It takes 0.15 seconds. Next, systole of ventricles. It takes 0.30 seconds. Next, all chambers in relaxed state, that is 0.40 seconds. That is called as diastole, joint diastole. So, here, one heartbeat, it requires 0.85 seconds. So, one heartbeat includes one systole and diastole. The one systole and one diastole is together is one cardiac cycle or heartbeat. Next, two main phases of heartbeat. First one, atrial systole and ventricular diastole. Second one, ventricular systole and atrial diastole. Here, when the auricles undergo the contraction, ventricles are undergo the relaxation, that is diastole condition. When the auricles are under the relaxation, the ventricles undergo the contraction. The first phase we can study, that is atrial systole and ventricular diastole. Means auricles are in contraction, ventricles are in relaxation. At that time, what will happen? The first one, auricular muscles contract. Here, the muscles which are present in the auricular region, it undergo the contraction. When auricular muscles undergo the contraction, opening of vena cava and pulmonary vein close. In the diagram you can observe opening of vena cava and pulmonary vein close, because to avoid the backflow of blood. Next, blood enters ventricles by crossing through tricuspid wall and bicuspid wall. When the right auricle undergoes the contraction, then blood passes into the right ventricles through tricuspid wall. At the same time, when the left auricle undergoes the contraction, the blood enters inside the left ventricle by opening of bicuspid valve. Next, semilunar valves at the roots of pulmonary artery and aorta are closed. So, valves which are present at the root of pulmonary artery and the aorta get closed. When it closes, it produces a sound. That sound is called as dub sound. When the semilunar valves of the roots of pulmonary artery and aorta are closed, it produces a sound. That sound is called as dub sound. Look at the diagram. You have to clearly observe these arrow marks. So it gives the in which direction blood is flowing. So in examination they will give this diagram, and here numbers are there 1, 2, 3, 4. So like that numbers they will give. You have to identify the parts, and they will ask which phase of the heart this shows this diagram. So they will give the diagram, and depending upon this diagram they will ask the question. Next phase, ventricular systole and atrial diastole. Means here ventricles are contracting stage and auricles are relaxing state. That is a ventricular systole and atrial diastole. Here ventricular muscles contract. Here muscles which are present in the ventricular region, it undergo the contraction. Tricuspid valve and bicuspid valves close with a jerk producing the sound lub. When the ventricular muscles undergo the contraction, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves get closed because to avoid the backflow of blood. When they close, it produces sound, that is a lub sound. Next, blood passes into aorta and pulmonary artery through semilunar valves. When the ventricles undergo the contraction, the deoxygenated blood from right ventricles, it enters inside the pulmonary artery through the pulmonary semilunar valves. At the same time, oxygenated blood from left ventricle, it enters inside the aorta through a semilunar valve. Next, atria draw in blood through the openings of vena cava and pulmonary vein. In this condition, auricles are in relaxed state, so they receive the blood. Right auricle, it receives the blood through the superior and inferior vena cava, that is deoxygenated blood, and the left auricle, it receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs through pulmonary vein. Next, chordae tendineae hold the valves in position, preventing their upturning due to pressure exerted by the contracting ventricles. Here, chordae tendineae, it holds the tricuspid and bicuspid valves in a fixed position, because here ventricles are undergo the contraction. When ventricles are undergo the contraction, it creates a more pressure. When it creates a more pressure, there is a chance of backflow of blood. So, Here chordate tendinae, it holds the tricuspid and bicuspid valves in a fixed position. So valves doesn't get open. It remains in closed condition. Now you can look at the picture. See the arrow mark also. Here ventricles are in contraction and auricles are in relaxation. Here when the auricles are relaxed condition, they receive the blood. When the ventricles are in contracting condition, they will pump the blood to the next region. This is the ventricular systole and atrial diastole. And they produce the sound that is a lub and dub sound. We can hear this sound with the help of the one of the instrument that is called as stethoscope. Next, heart sounds. I already said heart produces two sounds. One is the lub and is the dub sound. Here the first sound is lub sound. Lub sound is produced when the tricuspid and bicuspid valves get closed. So when they get closed during the ventricular systole. And second sound is dub sound. It is produced at the beginning of ventricular diastole. Here semilunar valves at the roots of aorta and pulmonary artery get closed. So dub sound is produced because of the closing of semilunar valves at the roots of aorta and pulmonary artery. Lub sound is produced because of closing of tricuspid and bicuspid valve. So next, rate of heartbeat is varies from species to species. And if we are doing the more physical exercises, the heartbeat rate also increases. So for example, in the whale it is a 15 times, and adult man you can see 72 times per a minute. So if you do more physical exercises, so our rate of heartbeat also increases. Here you can take the smaller animals also, the more rate of heartbeat we can observe. So because the more it loses its body heat due to higher surface volume ratio, and therefore the increased heart rate distributes the body heat faster. Secondly, the young growing stage such as the human baby have higher metabolism for body growth, and therefore the faster heart rate keeps the supply and takeoff of the metabolic substances in right quantities. Yeah, you can observe the smaller animals. In the young stage, the rate of heartbeat is more and compared to in the adult. You can observe the small baby. Their heartbeat is increased per a minute because the rate of metabolism is high in a small baby. So that's why the rate of heartbeat also increases. Next, pacemaker, or it is called as sinoatrial node. Pacemaker, here heartbeat arises in pacemaker. The command of heartbeat or impulse of heartbeat arises in pacemaker or sinoatrial node. This pacemaker is located in the walls of the right auricle near the opening of the superior vena cava. Pacemaker, it is located in the walls of the right auricle near the opening of the superior vena cava. And its main function, the impulse or command of heartbeat arises in pacemaker. In exam, they may ask to write exact location and function of pacemaker or SAN or sinoatrial node. Here, this impulse is relayed to the ventricles with the help of special conducting fibers. So whatever the command or impulse arises, it will also goes to the ventricular region with the help of a special fiber. Here one more node we can see, so that is called as a AVN node or atrioventricular node. It is present near the interauricular septum near the tricuspid valve. AVN or atrioventricular node, it is present near the interauricular septum and near the tricuspid valve. So what is the septum? Septum nothing but it is a muscular structure present between the right and left side of the heart. So its main function to avoid the mixing of deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. That is the septum. The septum which is present between the right and left auricle, that is called as interauricular septum. A septum present between the right and left ventricle, it is called as interventricular septum. Now this AVN node is present near the interauricular septum near the tricuspid valve. And in an exam they will ask to write the exact location of AVN. Next, a bundle of muscle fibers called bundle of His begins from AVN and extends to the interventricular septum. Here, through the AVN, many muscle fibers will arise, that is called as bundle of His, and this bundle of His then runs in the interventricular septum region. Interventricular septum means septum present in the right and left ventricle. Usually AVN it divides into two branches. So one branch of bundle of His, it runs in the ventricles of the right ventricular region, and another one is left ventricular region. Usually we can see the two main branches here, that is a bundle of His. It arises from the AVN node. Next, bundle of His consists of branches of fibers running along the wall of the ventricle called Purkinje fibers. Here bundle of His once again divides, it form a many fiber-like structure. So this fiber-like structure, it runs on the wall of the ventricles. So it is called as a Purkinje fibers. All these together form a system which creates an impulse and conducts it to every parts of the heart. First, the pacemaker, it receive the commands of the heartbeat, then it send that into the AVN, then through the AVN it goes to the bundle of His, then through the bundle of His, that impulse it goes to the Purkinje fibers. So through that whole all the chambers undergo the contraction and relaxation because of this command.
We'll start with the basics and examine how the human heart works. The heart is a muscle about the size of a clenched fist that is located under the rib cage in between the lungs. It is divided into a left side and a right side. Each side has two chambers. The upper chambers are called atria, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. Blood flows from the atria to the ventricles through one-way valves. The atria and the ventricles work together as a team to pump blood through the heart. The right atrium receives oxygen-depleted blood from the body and pushes it into the right ventricle, which pumps it out to the lungs. Oxygen-enriched blood is returned from the lungs to the left atrium, which pushes it into the left ventricle, where it is pumped back out to the body. After the body has used all the oxygen in the blood returns to the heart and the cycle repeats. In a normal heart, this sequence occurs 60 to 100 times per minute. The heart's beating rhythms are driven by electrical impulses within the heart. In a normal heart rhythm, electrical signals originate in the heart's natural pacemaker, the sinoatrial node, also called SA node. These electrical signals travel from the atria to the ventricles in a defined rhythmic pattern. The electrical signals pass through the atrioventricle, or AV node. The AV node acts as a natural gatekeeper for the heart, through which all the heart's electrical signals normally pass. The electrical signals then pass through the bundle of His to the Purkinje fibers, which cause the heart muscles to contract. There are many factors that contribute to proper heart function. Talk to your physician about your heart health and steps you can take to keep your heart healthy and strong.
blood vessels. The blood vessels are branched tubes extending from the heart to all parts of the body. There are three kinds of blood vessels we can observe: arteries, capillaries and veins. The first we can study artery. An artery is a vessel which carries blood away from the heart towards any organ. Artery is a blood vessel which carries blood away from the heart towards any organ. And main characteristics of an artery we can study. First one, it has thick muscular walls. Artery having a thick muscular walls. Next, it has a narrow lumen. Lumen means the central part. It is a narrower in size. Next, the blood in it flows in spurts which correspond to the ventricular contractions of the heart. Yes, here in the artery the blood will flow under high pressure. So, because here left ventricle, when it undergo the contraction, the pressure is more. So it pump the blood to the aorta, then through the aorta it will spread into the different regions through the artery. So that's why in the artery the blood flows under high pressure. And wall of the artery also undergo the contraction and relaxation. Here you can see in the artery, all the artery carries oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood and remaining all artery carries oxygenated blood. So in the diagram you can observe in the artery, so it has a thick muscular walls. There are three layers we can see. First one is external layer. It is called as tunica externa. Middle layer, so it is called as tunica media, and innermost layer, that is a endothelium or tunica interna. And at the center part we can see empty like space, that is called as lumen. Here lumen is narrower. So this is the structure of artery. Next, vein. Vein is a vessel which carries the blood away from an organ towards the heart. Vein is a vessel which carries the blood away from an organ towards the heart. Its main characteristics, it has a thin muscular walls. Here walls are very thin. Next, it has a wider lumen, the central part. It has a wider lumen. Next, the blood in the vein, it flows uniformly. Means the blood in the vein, it flows under low pressure. Next, it contains thin pocket shaped walls. So it has a valve. So because in the vein the blood flows under low pressure, so to avoid the backflow of blood, it has a valve. But in artery there is no valve, because in the artery blood flows under high pressure. But in the vein, blood flows under low pressure. To avoid the backflow of blood, it has a valve. And these veins, it carries a deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. All the veins carries the deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. So this is the main structure of the vein. In the diagram also you can observe. Next, capillary. Here, artery divides into small branches, is called arteriole. Arteriole again divides into a small branches, that is called as capillaries. Here, aorta divides to form artery, artery divides to form arteriole, arteriole again divides to form capillary. Capillary is a narrow tube-like structure. It has a single layer of squamous epithelial cells, that is a endothelium. There is no external layer, middle layer. It has only one layer, that is endothelium. This capillary, it has a power of dilation. It undergoes the contraction and relaxation. So when it undergoes the relaxation, then it is called as a vasodilation. And it undergoes the contraction, it is called as a vasoconstriction. It has a power of dilating and contracting. here, which respectively increase the and decrease the blood supply to the body parts. Because of vasodilation and vasoconstriction, the blood supply also increases as well as decreases. So, you can walk in the hot sun, your face turns into pink. At that time, the supply of the blood increases. When it is too cold, face turns bluish because the supply of the blood will reduce, because capillary undergo the power of dilating and contracting. Now in the diagram you can observe here, artery divides it from arteriole and blood enters inside the arteriole, and it again arteriole again divides. It is called as a capillary. It is called arterial capillaries. These arterial capillaries, when it carries the deoxygenated blood, then it is called as venous capillaries. When the capillaries carries the oxygenated blood, it is the arterial capillaries. So when it carries the deoxygenated blood, it is called as venous capillaries. These venous capillaries again rejoin to form venule. Venules are rejoined to form vein. Here, venules are rejoined to form vein. Here, artery divides to form arteriole. So, these capillaries are nothing but it is the when arteriole divides to form fine tube-like structure, that is called as a capillaries. When it contains the oxygenated blood, it is arterial capillaries. If it contains the deoxygenated blood, it is called as venous capillaries. Next, functions of capillaries. First one, to allow outward diffusion of oxygen into the intercellular fluid and from there into the tissue cells. So it helpful for the outward diffusion of oxygen, and that oxygen then enters inside the in between the cell, that is called intercellular fluid. Then it goes to the tissues. Next, to allow inward diffusion of carbon dioxide from the intercellular fluid. Yeah, when it gives the oxygen, it has to take the carbon dioxide. So this capillary is helpful for the exchange of the respiratory gases in the tissue fluid as well as in the intercellular fluid region. Next, to allow inward and outward diffusion of substances like glucose, amino acid, urea, hormones, etc. So these capillaries, it act as a pathway for the diffusion of substances like glucose, amino acid, etc. To allow WBCs to squeeze out through the capillary walls by means of amoeboid movement. So this is called as diapedicys. Here, through the wall of the capillaries, the WBC has the capacity to come out because it shows the amoeboid movement. So that process is called diapedicys. Next, you can see the differences between the artery and veins. It is very important. Here, first one, artery, it carries the oxygenated blood away from the heart into an organ. Vein, it carries the deoxygenated blood away from an organ towards the heart. Next, about the structure we can come. First one is in the artery, progressively branch, decreasing in size. I already said aorta divides into artery, artery divides into arteriole. So when it divides, its size become decreased. In the veins, progressively unite, increase in size. Here, venules are rejoined to form vein. A rejoining process takes place. That's why it is increasing in size. Next, in the artery, smallest artery breaks into arterioles. Here, artery again divides to form arterioles. But in the veins, smallest vein arises from venules. Here, veins are arises from the venules. Next, in the artery, they have thick and more muscular walls, and vein have thin muscular walls. And the walls are elastic. In artery, walls are elastic. In veins, walls are non-elastic. And in artery, it has a narrow lumen. In the vein, it has a wider lumen. And next, in artery, there is no walls, but in the veins, we can see the wall. And artery constrict or dilate to control the blood flow. And here it cannot undergo the constrict. And in the artery, usually it is placed deeper region of the body, means it is usually deeper placed. In veins it is superficially. Here near the skin we can see this vein. And artery do not collapse when it is empty, vein collapse when it is empty. Next, blood flows with the jerk and under great pressure, that is in the artery. In the veins, blood flows continuously under very little pressure. And artery, it carries oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. Vein, it carries deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. These are the major differences between the artery and vein.
Our heart is an important component of cardiovascular system. It creates pressure every time it beats. This pressure moves the blood to every cell in our body. Now let us see what is cardiac cycle. The sequence of events in a single heartbeat is known as cardiac cycle. This cycle involves the systole or contraction and diastole or relaxation of atria and ventricles. Look at this figure. In this, you can make out that all the four chambers of heart are in relaxed stage, that is, joint diastole stage. Now you will observe here that bicuspid and the tricuspid valves are open. So what will happen? The blood will flow from the pulmonary vein and vena cava to left and right atrium respectively. Right? Now, the arterial systole is initiated when SA node sends out an electric signal. During arterial systole, the atria undergoes a continuous contraction which forcefully passes the blood into the ventricles through tricuspid and the bicuspid valves. Ventricular systole begins when ventricles are filled with blood. The AV node, as shown here, picks up the signal and then conducts it throughout the ventricles. This stimulates the ventricular contraction, and as the ventricular contraction increases, the ventricular pressure causes the closure of AV valves. Now this continuous contraction causes the further increase in ventricular pressure. What will happen because of this? It will open the semilunar valves and the blood flows into the pulmonary artery and the aorta. Now this closing of AV valves here results in producing the first heart sound, lub. Now observe here that ventricles are in relaxed state now. During ventricular diastole, the ventricles relax, arterial pressure falls and blood begins to flow back into the ventricles. This reversal of pressure causes the semilunar valves to shut, producing the second heart sound, dub. So now you know what produces the sound lub-dub. Meanwhile, the atria have been filling with the blood, and as the ventricles relax, blood flows from the atria into the ventricles, forcing the AV valves to open again.